Timothy Michael Kaine, Senator Kaine, qué placer tenerlo aquí. Un placer, sobre todo un agradecimiento porque usted dejó la parte del building del Washington Post para venirse a la parte del Tiempo Latino.
Estoy alegre a hablar hoy, Alberto, con Tiempo Latino.
Senator, you are a Harvard Law School graduate who has a very interesting political and public service kind of journey. You've been all over the place, but in a very systematic, like a step-by-step, bottom-up council member in Virginia, mayor of Virginia, governor, DNC chairman, senator. So next stop is the presidency.
Well, let me tell you, the first stop and where it all started was in Honduras. Yo trabajé en Honduras hace 35 años con un grupo de misioneras jesuitas.
Correct.
And from them I learned the power of public service, ayudando a la gente. And that turned me into a civil rights lawyer first, and then, as you pointed out, city councilman, mayor, lieutenant governor, governor, senator. But at every pace along the way, I have just been inspired by the people I worked with in El Progreso, Honduras, and by these great missionaries I worked with.
And you are very well known in your years as an attorney to do a lot of pro bono work, a lot of so public service is in your blood, really. But I also know that you married a judge.
I did.
So, and a daughter of a former governor of Virginia that you became later. So, at home, this is a curiosity. Do you speak law, politics? What do you talk about?
Well, my wife and I met in law school at Harvard, and she is, I call myself, out of my five household, my wife and I and 3 kids, I'm the 4th best public servant. So my wife was a judge and is now Secretary of Education in Virginia. I have a boy who's a lieutenant in the Marine Corps. I have a boy who's a maestro in a escuela middle school in Minneapolis. And then my daughter's still in college, so she hasn't passed me yet in the public service side. You know, but we're at home, we're like cada familia. It's the kids and vacation and I just had my 30th wedding anniversary, and nothing I've done has been possible without the support de Anne y mis niños.
Congratulations on your anniversary. I know that family values are important for you. Usted es católico. La misión que hizo a Honduras le permitió convertirse en un buen hablante del español.
Medio. Necesito más práctico.
Medio, pero suficiente. Hay una cosa que me interesó. Y me lo puedo decir en español because it's a difficult question. Cuando usted fue alcalde de Virginia, fue capaz de reducir impuestos, construir escuelas y reducir el crimen. ¿Cómo se hacen esas 3 cosas?
Era un tiempo muy difícil en la vida de mi ciudad, en Richmond, durante mi tiempo como alcalde, 1998 hasta 2012, 2002. Un tiempo muy difícil, la gente está saliendo a la ciudad, crimen era un problema muy grande, los impuestos son muy altos, pero tenía un plan para atraer la gente a la ciudad con construcción de escuelas y con una filosofía nueva contra los criminales. Y ahorita Richmond es un lugar muy especial. Hay muchos periódicos, Outside Magazine, Money Magazine, otros que dicen que Richmond es una de las ciudades más kind of cool en los Estados Unidos. Y yo vivo en Richmond todavía. Y tengo un gran orgullo sobre el trabajo de todos en Richmond, hacer nuestra ciudad un tipo de renaissance allá.
No le puedo dejar marchar del Tiempo Latino sin hablar de la inmigración. And I'm going to read something. On June 11, 2013, you delivered a speech on the Senate floor in support of the bipartisan immigration bill, the Gang of Eight, famous Gang of Eight. The speech was in the Spanish language. And that marked the first time a senator had ever made a speech on the Senate floor in a language other than English. ¿Le entendieron sus colegas? ¿Consiguió usted el objetivo que quería? Hábleme de esa experiencia desde el corazón y desde la política, por supuesto.
Era un día muy especial, uno de los días más especiales de mi tiempo en el Senado. tenemos un gran debate por 2 semanas sobre esta ley de inmigración en el Senado. Y yo decidí a tener un discurso en español. Y yo dije a mis colegas que es importante, si vamos a tener este debate, a tomar 20 minutos a hablar en un idioma que es el idioma de 40 millones de americanos en sus casas, que es un idioma que es parte de nuestro país desde la fundación de San Agustín, Florida, en 1565, 42 años antes de Jamestown, Virginia.
That's right.
Entonces, this is not an issue of we're now finding we have raíces latinos. Our nation has been a nation con raíces latinos desde los primeros días. And I felt like it was important explicar la ley a la gente en el idioma de español. Only after did I learn that no one had ever done it before. So I got a surprise then.
You were a pioneer in that way. But your roots are Scottish and Irish.
Yes.
So you feel the immigrant experience at heart. Your father had this iron kind of shop.
Un taller de soldadura.
Un taller de soldadura, exactly. So that, together with your beliefs, you are a man of strong faith and values. So you put together those dots, and that's what makes you so sensitive to the immigration issue?
That and one other thing, Alberto, that's really important, which is watching the immigrant community, watching the Latino community in Virginia. When I moved to Virginia in 1984, yo hablé español una vez cada 3 o 4 meses, solo eso. Pero ahorita estoy hablando español cada día. La población latina está creciendo bastante, and it's a good thing for the state. I see the increase of the Latino population, also the increase of the Asian American population. It has been positive for our state because ahorita tenemos una economía mundial, ¿verdad?
Correcto.
And the more connection points you have around the globe, the better you're going to be economically. As Virginia's population has internationalized, our economy has improved.
That's right.
So my experience in Honduras, my family background, as you point out, of the great-grandson of immigrants from Ireland and Scotland, but also my witnessing the power of new Americans in Virginia, they all make me a passionate supporter of the need for una reforma comprensiva del sistema de inmigración.
And then there is the politics of the day, and then there is the bickering, politicking, and I'm going to show you a caricature that we put in our front page, and it's about the fight of power, and it's about this donkey and this elephant stretching out the American flag. ¿Cómo lleva usted? How do you handle the politicking, the bickering, the fights?
No, es bien difícil, y la gente de los Estados Unidos no le gusta un Congreso muchísimo, ¿verdad? Porque hay tantos desorden cada día entre los partidos. Es un poco más fácil para mí porque en Virginia trabajamos juntos la mayoría del tiempo. When I was governor, I had 2 Republican houses.
That's right.
I had to work with them. We didn't agree on everything. That's fine. You can disagree, but then move to the next issue and find agreement. And so I do bring to the Senate an attitude of you should always be reaching out. The legislation that I get passed, I always am finding a Republican sponsor on legislation I pass. I work very closely with the Virginia delegation. The total delegation, House and Senate, is 11, 5 Democrats and 8 Republicans. We work well together. And but this is a very telling editorial because we're one nation, and sometimes it appears that it's more about battling between parties, or sometimes even more just battling over personalities.
Personalities, yeah.
Y cuando todos somos americanos, tenemos muchos desafíos económicos en el mundo, sistema de educación, reforma del sistema de inmigración, muchos desafíos, y necesitamos trabajar juntos para hallar soluciones.
Correcto. When I write this story, when I put in writing in paper this conversation, I know the 3 or 4 words that are coming out of you towards me and that are defining you. But if you would say these 3 or 4 words to define you, what words will be?
The one that comes to mind is bridge builder. That's how I think of myself. When I moved to Richmond to do derechos civiles como un abogado, working with people who had been turned away from opportunities because of the color of their skin or because they had a disability, I wanted to be a bridge builder como abogado. Then when I ran for office in a city that was the capital of the Confederacy, hay divisiones en mi ciudad y en todo parte del mundo hay divisiones. I ran to try to be a bridge builder. Then I was governor of a state that had, coal miners in Appalachia and oystermen on the Eastern Shore and high-tech executives in Northern Virginia and immigrants working in poultry plants in Harrisonburg. It's about building a bridge. And then I come to Congress and I have Democrats and Republicans fighting with each other, the House and Senate fighting with each other, Congress and the President fighting with each other. I'm trying to be a bridge builder. That is sort of how I think of myself when I go to work every day.
Are you going to run for president?
You should only run if you have an epiphany that says you can do something that no one else can do, and I have not had such an epiphany. I love my job in the Senate. And working, I'm on 3 pretty important committees. I'm on the Armed Services, I'm on Foreign Relations, where I work a lot with Latin America and the Middle East especially. And I'm on the Budget Committee, working on budgets. And I kind of have John Warner as my role model. Él fue un senador por 30 años.
Correcto.
Y cada año un poquito más wisdoms, poquito más poder, poquito más habilidad a hacer cosas buenas para nuestro estado, el país. So I think I'm going to be in the Senate for a while.
Para terminar, usted emana empatía, usted emana pragmatismo también. Cuando un país con unos founding principles tan importantes como los de Estados Unidos se encuentra en esta especie de cruce de caminos y se mete en la maraña del debate sobre la tortura, how do you feel that?
No, it was a sobering week, the debate and the release of the report, a very sobering week. Nothing about that report will make you feel good except that we are self-confident enough as a nation to be willing to tell the story and learn from it. And if you think about it, even in the life of a person, we're all going to do things wrong. And the measure of life of a person is the ability to be honest about it, learn from it, improve, and not do those things again. And I view the release of the report as kind of that kind of a moment for us. We are willing to look in the mirror, and when we go astray, a tratar a mejorar la situación y nuestros prácticos.
Senador Kaine, muchas gracias por estar aquí de nuevo
gracias,
y sobre
Alberto.
todo en estas fechas, feliz Navidad.
Y gracias por todo el tiempo importante del tiempo latino.
Muchas gracias.
Yeah.